Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing as well as they can. That often sounds ridiculous, but I think it's more realistic than most of us can understand sometimes. Anyway, here is a question from Rosemary Menard. And by the way, thanks for all of you who have sent questions in. We're getting a little lean again. I'm just wondering if you can think about some of the questions. For some of you, I think you're reading that book of mine, and if you have any questions about it, even though we're having a session on October 25th, once again between, I think it's 10 and 12 o'clock. Eastern time. So it works out for the UK and those of us who are here. A little early for British Columbia and California, but nonetheless, I hope it's okay. This question says, at the seminar, and I think it's the July seminar that Rosemary is talking about, you said that if we are able to change something in us, then that will affect the species. And the species won't want to change. Therefore, the species will, in turn, affect us. In other words, affect us in holding us in a particular position. Can you speak more about how the species affects us in turn? You know, this is really a difficult thing for us to imagine because our particular focus is so individualistically focused, and we're kind of, to be honest, we're trained more in that direction, through our schooling and our engagements with life in business and whatever. However that works. And if you can think of this as almost like, take the analogy or the metaphor of bees working together for a particular purpose, yet I'm not so sure that the bees actually know that they're doing that, but they do it automatically because that's the pattern that they've been involved with for so many existences of different groupings of bees. We tend to focus less on what the world is, how the world does nothing but affect us, and we are the central focus of the world. Yep. The species in itself, we are a part of it. Whatever that is, from your point of view, from anybody's point of view, whatever that looks like, we individually will try to make sense of it if indeed we bother to. So, and it's really not a bother to, it's more like we're so busy with our lives, we never even consider the possibility that we might be affecting each other. But when you really look at it, even in a small way, your family affects you. You act out like your family background. Your friends engage with you, and their interaction with you affects you physically or emotionally, or one could say even mentally. You respond and react almost reflexively. And that particular kind of reflexive reaction is an unconscious reflex. It's as if there's an unconscious stream. And if you read a little bit about Carl Jung, he talked about a collective unconscious. Well, that was really kind of a wonderful way to try and, let's say, make sense of something that seems to occur if you start thinking about it. And it can be both annoying and most interesting, as most puzzles are. If you are similar to millions of people, meaning your particular way of engaging with the world, your upbringing, or your view about the world, even if you think that you're the most important thing since sliced bread, you have a lot of millions of people who think the same thing. You're not extra special in that. If you're feeling really as if you're in the opposite direction, you're not extra special in that. There are millions of people who are involved in the same pattern. You change that pattern, if you can, and you shift a little bit into other groups of people who are not quite the same as the first grouping that you were involved with, but a little bit just different. Well, millions of people don't consider that they're involved with millions of people. Unless you have titles. And that creates an entitlement. Not as a pun, as a reality. Nations do the same thing. Individuals in nations engage that way. This is not uncommon. This is something that's been going on forever. Tribes. My tribe is better than your tribe. All this sort of stuff. Very rare to think of it as individuals involved with a very large tribe that includes all other tribes. So Jung tried to bring that to the fore a little bit. But at the same time, when you're dealing with changes that may occur in you and how they relate to your friends or family, you start to notice how the family reacts to that or your friends react to that. Unless you begin to communicate on your side of the fence, less reactively the same. Well, let me put that differently. That's a poor way to put it. If you engage with your friends in a certain way and then you change that, your friends are concerned about you, or they may be put off by you. This is the nature of an engagement with others. Of course, the trick is you can talk about that, if there's any room to talk about it. Often there's not a lot of room, unless your friend is looking at life a little deeper than reflexive reactions and similar patterns to what they had before. This is really hard. Then they may have something in common with you. What's going on, Jack? Well, Joe, I've been thinking about this. I've been doing this kind of thing. I just noticed it in the last couple of years, and I don't really like the way that works in me. This is really weird. I've been thinking the same thing, and not about that, but more about this. I don't understand, but I'm not as happy with that as I used to be. Wow. Oh, gee, that's really funny that both of us could be thinking about things like that. Just an example. thinking of change doesn't make change. Engaging with change, you begin to understand a little bit about the fact that you react even to attempting to make that change. And if you're well defended internally or externally, you'll intellectually make a change, but actually not make a change. And if you have an increased perception over a period of time, you'll notice that may be true, and it will bother you. It will bother you in the sense that you're trying to do this, and at the same time, that same old stuff keeps coming back up. But this is the cauldron of change. It's like the old days in the 17th and 16th and 18th, 19th sometimes century. They used to do a little bit of, you had to break up the herbs in a small little round, I don't know what, was it a pesto or not?
Mortar and pestle.
Mortar and
pestle.
What?
Pestle.
Pestle. Sorry, I forgot that. And you would break it down and keep working it and working it and working it and working. And then, eureka! It got to be the way you wanted it. Well, it's not quite exactly the same when you're engaging with trying to understand or perceive beyond what is normally there for you. Because you will tend to bring back what you actually had working for you before in a level of circumstance, in a moment, because you are defending previous stuff as well as current stuff. And it makes it complicated. Makes your life complicated. Well, as somebody said to me, and I'm not sure it was them or me, but why would you want to change something when you're very happy with the results of how you functioned for the last 50 years or so? Then, right in the midst of that, is the effect that the species has on you. That sounds really weird. It's kind of a hard sell. And the reason it sounds weird is we have this belief that we're not affected by anything outside of ourselves. And that is a reflex that is not real. If you take a look at your lives, just day to day, you'll notice that you react to a whole bunch of news. You react to others. If something bothers you or pains you, you'll react to that too. You'll make a statement, and that statement reflexively is considered to be absolute truth from your perspective because you're scared. You're hurting. This is normal for all of us. There's no negation in this. This is just how it works in our world. And when you're dealing with beginning to understand the relationship that you have with all other beings on this planet, is they don't want to shift or change anything either. If they reach a pinnacle in the images that they have or have in their own mind about the value that they have placed upon themselves, and they feel that this is an important place to be, naturally, normally, they would want to protect it, even if they say they don't. And that's the problem. You don't want to only protect yourself against change. You want to be doggone sure that that change is going to be helpful to you. This is legitimate. If you can allow yourself, against the pressure of your own defenses, which are stimulated by an overall engagement with the whole of the species, because it doesn't want to change either. It has a multiplicity of ways of engaging. So, and you are a part of that. Every time you react, you contribute there. Every time you love, you contribute there. Every time you think and try to make sense of something, involved with how you normally think, or through that, beyond that, into another stage of understanding, it touches the species. This is difficult for us to understand because our focus, naturally and normally, not negative, is focused on our own self. The self that is kind of semi-imaginary. And there is a need for it because we have to function. So we create these very strong images about how we should be, mostly unknown to us, mostly copied from others, and sometimes through our experience, we begin to notice there are places where we wish our systems weren't exactly the way they were. So the question would be, if you want to underline that, you would say, well, is there anything in the life that I'm leading that I would wish I hadn't have done or wouldn't do? And how would that lead me? How would I engage differently? And why should I change if no one else is going to change? So the idea of minuscule changes, little by little, with great respect to all others, even if they're not engaging in any of that kind of thing, has an effect on the species. No one can judge in others. Well, I shouldn't say that because there is a lot of judgment out there about anything that you might come up with, or how you live or someone else lives. But if you soften that down, you begin to figure out there are many different ways of engaging with life that people have. And those ways are reflected in the species as a whole, one could say. Once again, this is hard to image in our own minds. However, doing what you can, just looking at your own life and not being disrespectful to it, but engaging with it and realizing it's very difficult to make any kind of consistent shifting change in how you respond to things. but not impossible. And sometimes the need we have to protect the images we don't often know we even use is a dilemma. If a person, for example, you might say to a person, well, you act like that. Why are you acting like that? I'm not acting like that. What do you mean? I'm not acting like that. You cannot help them too much, although you can talk about it, but because even if they find out they're acting in a certain way, those images are still very strong. I need to be this way and that way, because if I'm not, I'm afraid. I need to consider only doing it this way, and it's how we are. But it's how everybody is. Not just us. Not just me, not just you. Knowing that and not negating your engagement with how you do it, but reconsidering whether it might be helpful to you or others. This is really hard for folks because in the protection of themselves, the answer is, I don't do this, I don't do that. I do it this way and that way, and it's the only way I can do it because that's the right way to do it. So this is the glue that holds you in alignment with a species, because this is our species. And at this timeline, this is the way we have developed. And the method that we use relates to a very material base, almost animalistic. On who in heaven's name wants to hear that kind of stuff? Yeah. The strongest are more right than the weakest. Well, we haven't found a balance in that. We move towards finding a balance, and we almost think we have it, and then it dissipates again. Somehow the species feels threatened, perhaps by change, perhaps in fear that it will not survive like us in the way that we engage with life, trying to protect the way we function as the more right way to function. And so there's a whole lot of selling of images that goes on in the world. Well, if you don't do that, nobody knows you. Can you handle nobody knowing you? Is it okay? Is it okay with you that you grow inside and begin to understand from a broader perspective? And nobody cares that it's you that understands that. Can you handle that? In our present way of engaging, it's really hard for us. Because that means you don't have a place that's valuable in the eyes of everybody else. While at the same time, nobody even looks at your value versus other people's value. You believe they do. They're busy doing their own thing. But this is a part of how we are growing within our species. I often wonder, and it bothers me a little bit, that if people do grow, how will that affect the species? Will the species be nervous about shifting anything within it? My suspicion is that if you'll be nervous, the species will be nervous, because you're a part of it. There's a whole lot of talk there about the species as if it's a unit. We're part of another bigger form, while at the same time our central focus in all of our life is on ourselves. Ourselves being happy, ourselves feeling hurt, ourselves being this way, ourselves being that way, ourselves being vulnerable to being okay with understanding life slightly differently. It's okay if you try to do something and you don't succeed. It's okay if you try to do something and you do succeed. It's okay if you don't consider yourself more important than another because you succeeded. And it's okay if you hold that success and live the rest of your life thinking that you're really important because of this one thing. It happens in our world. And it would be okay if you decided to do something else. And if it was successful, you would be helping out somehow others, not only yourself. But it's okay if you think you're helping yourself and you get to the point where there's no one as able as you. That would be okay. Why? Because the rest of the world has people in it that would be just like you. The difficulty with that is, what are you contributing to the whole, to the species? You're contributing a level of importance that the species, because of so many in it feeling that way, will tend to become. It's okay. If that's how, and that's what it takes to get individuals in the species to recognize that it's not fundamentally helpful to the species or to themselves. This is very difficult because when you're ecstatic about your own self-importance, why would you want to change that? The difficulty with that statement is that you're not as important as you think you are. For that reason, you're important for other reasons. And one of them is that you can grow internally into an understanding that is broader than your own self-interest. But that self-interest is not alone in the world. Take a look. Lots to see in the world. Lots to react to. If indeed you're interested in the world remaining and growing. Now, which way do you want it to grow? Well, that's easy to say. but not easy to think about. Because there are so many things in this world that you can do to be helpful to it. But one of the things that doesn't come from me, yet so many people have talked about this, is be helpful to you. And that energetically has an impact on the rest of the world. And this to me is pretty interesting, but as an individual who's a part of the world, I make mistakes the same as everyone else does. It depends. And I know it's a mistake. Depends on whether you're okay with knowing that you're fundamentally imperfect as an individual. And I don't hide that from myself, the best I can, of course. That means I have a little bit of an idea what I'm like. The problem with that statement is I don't have a perfect idea what I'm like. But we all have vulnerabilities. And they help us to understand ourselves. Questioning, why am I reacting this way, is not a bad idea. Why do I act out this way? Provided you can see you act out that way. Would be a great idea. So awareness, as it increases in increments of development, helps you to know and understand that there are so many people in the world that can't do anything other than what they do. And they don't know they do it. And you are one of them. And so am I. I don't know everything about myself. I have no idea about the depths of an engagement with a living being, me, or anyone else for that matter, doing the same thing. But it's not helpful to look at it with a big stick. It is helpful to look at it and acknowledge it personally to yourself. You don't have to do it to anybody else because you start elevating yourself from being really important because you do these kinds of things. Sometimes that stuff comes out. If you can catch it, smile a bit and say, wow. So I'm still promoting. So that promotion occurs in the species. So what we do is we have an abundance of folks who promote themselves for the purpose of telling everybody else that they're the most important thing. And only they have the right idea. This happens in our world everywhere. So you can see what we're up against here. That's why it's little by little. And trying to find an honest place within yourself. An honest place within yourself. And I know many out there are attempting to do exactly that. And that to me is unbelievable. It's great. And I wish everybody exceedingly well with that one. Because it's hard for anybody to do that. With kindness and respect for a living being that is moving themselves through the world of matter. Let's see if there's another question involved with this. I hope that helps a little bit, Rosemary. Why do we need to cycle back using stalwarts to survive even when we have been able to back away from them previously. It's, for me, that's an important question, because you can, if you have been engaging with those stalwarts or ways that are pretty consistent throughout your life, and you catch them, and they do circle back, because our training is to use those things that have become stalwarts. Because we internally believe, without even knowing we believe, in this way of engaging, because it helps us somehow, has helped us somehow. Strangely enough, from my perspective, it's an act of love for you. And any act of love that you have for you is loving at a particular level. And we all have these gradations of engagement. I really love that apple. I'm being ridiculous here. And I like it. I love it more than I love that orange. Well, it's kind of loving. I mean, you can say it's pretty weak, Ron. Yeah, it is. But those feelings of liking or loving, they hold in you. So somebody comes up and says, look at, this is an orange that, right away, I'm not too keen on oranges. Do you have apples? And they say, no, but would you try one little slice of this orange, because they're made in a different way. We try to come out with a new kind of orange that is so delicious. It's just mind-boggling. No, I can't try that. And then, so this person cuts a little slice and tries it. And they say, oh my God, I can't believe it's even better than I thought it was going to be. So if you're lucky, you might say, okay, give me the smallest of slices that you could possibly gain. You have a little slice. Are you sure this is an orange? It's bitter. Every orange I've ever had in my life has been bitter. Makes my tongue feel weird. This doesn't do that. This can't be an orange. What kind of fruit is this? Now, you may say that inside rather than outside, but you gain access to recognizing something that is different than what you believe it should be or could be. In that kind of understanding, I know it's a metaphor, but in that kind of understanding, that's how we engage with life. We have these reflexes that are so fast. And it's a good question to ask yourself. Number one, why am I reacting this strongly? Number two, why did I react that strongly? Not because I'm bad or good, but the training I have may really increase the speed on this particular thing, this one way of engaging in life, because I'm afraid and I need to react that way so I can protect myself. Thinking of that, you can maybe, in a second or two, perhaps allow yourself to understand that those recyclings are love stalwarts. They're pillars that you believe you need to have for the purpose of maintaining a kind of sort of constructed life system that you believe is the only way that can be helpful to you. This is something, if you do see it, don't negate it. See it so you can recognize it again. It'll be anywhere and everywhere in your life. You don't have to go immediately and rip it out, because you're not going to be able to do that. It'll show up in some other place. But if you can see it with respect and kindness, my goodness, this is something I must do more often than I thought I did. Now I can either do it outside or I can do it on the inside, but you can start to be aware of it happening on the inside so you don't fool yourself about it. It's gone in the outside. If it's on the inside, it's still on the outside, but it will be where you need to have it to be protective of yourself. This is how it works for all of us. There's no negation here. None whatsoever. And I think that might be a little bit helpful when you're dealing with those stalwarts. They have always been valuable to us. And to complicate it even more, sometimes they're valuable because our trainers have helped us. They have them, and they never and couldn't explain that they had them because they were things that they used to help them. Because if they didn't do that, they couldn't be as wonderful or as right or as valued, differences, as they felt that they were. Life is interesting. Intellectual catching is one way to do things. When you perceive it on the inside, that's what gives us a little bit of emotional difficulties, because we're geared to respond in a number of ways. That's awful, that's great, and a whole bunch of thousands of different ways in the middle. It's neither one of those. They're just responses, and they're learned. And sometimes we'll use them, and if you're at this for 100 years, you'll notice them every now and then, even though you think you lost them all. That's the part where you have to be honest with yourself, nobody else, just you. And smile. It's important to have a sense of humor because it gives you more patience. Remember the difficulty in inner growth. Inner growth is interesting because it puts a lot of stress and pressure on an individual. And the stress and pressure comes from not using old methodologies as often as they were necessary to use previously. It was often called, in some people's terminology, soul growth. And it was often considered one of the most difficult things that could ever be handled by an aspiring individual towards becoming more involved with higher states, one could say. Use your own terminology. Because we have a harshness within us that looks to engaging with ideas and things and feelings. It relates to the personalizations that we've incorporated in our world. We're either bad or good, or we have the only ideas that are right and wrong. And all of that is just a part of learning. These things are not always 100% true at all. But if you have a sense of being the only right, then you'll understand as you grow that that is one perspective. And it usually comes to you as a comfort zone or a way to be, because it's really difficult to be any other way. It's kind of a training. And your training is just training. You have a right to start a new life, no matter how old you are or young you are, with awareness the best you can. And we're only kids on the block. No offense to anybody who believes they're way off the scale. We're still learning. And I wish everybody such wonderful learning as we go along in this very interesting journey. I think we should meditate now. And remember, we are starting our meditations on the third Sunday of the month. Meditation for peace, one could call it. And anyone can join in, because you'll be doing it in your own living room. And just to give a rough estimate, we used to do it at 8 o'clock, but if it's okay with everyone, you can say nay or yay. Maybe 7 would be a better time, because I know people are often busy. Take care, everybody. We're just going to meditate, and I'll bring you out at the end.
Namastasye, namastasye. स्वरूपाय नमो नमः नमो नमः वन्दे भवद्रशत्वर्कवत्सलायै नमो नमः ॐ चक्रराजमहायन्त्रमध्यवर्तिन्ये नमो नमः ॐ चक्रराजमहायन्त्रमध्यवर्तिन्ये
Now we'll just do the balancing and the grounding. And have a good evening, everybody. Take care.